Coach, that's a penalty that you guys end up killing off, so it doesn't cost you, but what was the explanation you got on that penalty for Mikko? No call, then a review, then a 2-minute?
Well, my guess is that the refs didn't see it, and then the linesman brought it to their attention. So then they get to review it. So when you call it a 5 or what, which is I'm sure what they did, I didn't need an explanation. They can go 0, 2, or 5. They chose 2.
How happy are you with the penalty kill on this one?
It was great. I thought like they're dangerous, and they have some shooters in the right spots in their power play. Gorgie made some big saves. Just knowing where they were trying to go, they found the middleman a couple times, and then but the kill at the end on that one is a game saver, and they did a really nice job stuffing them at the line and sending it down the ice multiple times. So that was our best kill of the night and came at the perfect time.
No special team goals. It's all 5-on-5. Are you happy that this iteration the team can win a game like that?
Yeah. You got to play the game that's in front of you, right? And sometimes it takes you a little bit to get going in the power play. We had some good looks, obviously. We score right at the end of our one after the McKinnon unit. They had a bunch of really good chances. No different than them. I thought it was a pretty evenly played hockey game. They won the first period for sure. I didn't like our first. We won the second. Third was pretty even, so it's good to squeak out the 2 points.
Coach, you got 2 goals out of your defenseman, and one of them was not Kill McCarr.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about how you feel about that depth of your defense?
It's where we got to get to, I think. That's been a strength of our team for years now. The involvement of our D on the offensive side of it, we've been pushing them to get even more involved, and we're starting to get rewarded for it a little bit.
What can a moment like this do for Sam?
Sam.
Sure.
Well, I think it's a big play. What can it do for him? I don't know. He's been playing hard and playing well all season long, in my opinion. But you get a big moment like that. I mean, he closes on him quick. He strips him the puck. He draws a penalty, and then he goes top shelf on it. So I mean, it should give him some confidence. Taser, same thing. Hasn't got on the board yet, but he gets a big goal. And that's we need everyone contributing, no question, especially on the offensive side of it, in order to produce enough to win hockey games, and those 2 D did a nice job tonight.
How big was Georgie down the stretch in the third period and then overtime there?
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I thought both goalies again. So the game for me tonight, they're really tough to create scoring chances on because they're going to come at you with numbers and swarm you. But if you can break them down and play ahead of their pressure, then you can get some really good looks. And I thought we did that, especially in the second period. And Saros came up with some big saves, and then it was the same at our end. I felt like the number of chances we gave up wasn't that bad, but like some of the breakdowns we had were big ones, and that's when you need him to make a big save, and he did that.
When you look at the last 4 games for you, the 3 wins and the 1-0 loss to Winnipeg, I guess, what do you feel like has changed since the start of that Seattle?
We're more competitive than we were early in the year. Yeah, we're figuring out the identity of what exactly this team needs to do and how we have to play to have success with this current lineup. I think you have a lot of guys in the lineup that have been here and they know what it looks like when the team's full, and what plays you can make, and you're making high percentage plays. You're used to the chemistry of your lines, and early in the year it can be a little bit of a learning curve, and I think we've kind of adjusted a little bit to that. But the guys are playing harder. We're playing more with more urgency and more competitiveness than we did in some of the games early in the year.
Coach, you talked about the build, and setting a bar and keeping that going. Those last few games feel like they haven't been a constant build. Do you feel like that was this game as well? Did you guys take a step forward tonight?
No, I think we played better in the previous games than we did tonight. But there's a lot of things that go into that. Like, it didn't look like we had great energy tonight, and I'm not sure that they had great energy at times in the games tonight. So it's hard to tell when the guys are going to feel great and lots of pop in their legs and when they don't. And they have to make those adjustments and the recognition of that within the game. But what I did like again tonight, which is something that we want to keep as a trait of our team, is that we continued to grind. It meant a lot to us, and we worked hard and we competed hard as the game went on. So like those are things, if you're not feeling great or you don't have your hands or you're not making plays or it's just not your night, then you still have to dig in and make sure you're not giving up on anything and defend as hard as you possibly can in order to win a hockey game. That's what they did. And that's one thing I'm going to say about Gorgie too. Like his last handful of games, it's not just the fact that he's making some timely saves. He's competing hard in there. There's been some, rink wide side to side passes that he's getting over on and he's making saves on, or he's getting a good push and trying to make the save. Like there's some urgency to his game now and it's paying off.
It's a lot of resilience.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
With Gorgie, in previous seasons, you've kind of given him those mental breaks, and he seems to respond to them. It seems like he's doing it again. Why do you think that's something that he responds to well?
I don't know. That's a better question for him. But like, I just think sometimes, like Gorgie cares. I know he cares, and I know he works hard, but like the mental side of it, it just takes some players longer to reset after things don't go their way than others. I think the best players can let it slide off them like water on a duck's back if they have a bad night, a bad shift, a bad turnover, and they're right back to to their game. And others, it can take longer. And like for Gorgie, I think for a while there, the harder he tried, the worse it got. And you kind of got to take a break and get mentally reset and kind of get back to the fundamentals and the building blocks of your game to have success. And you're right. There's been a couple times over the last few years where we've given him a little bit more time, and he's come out and played well. And so, but he's also played well. Winnipeg last year in the playoffs with a bad first outing, he bounced right back. So it's a mental game. There's a lot of the game that's as much mental as it is physical.
Last you.
You mentioned in past availabilities that Devontae was kind of having a bit of a struggle to start the season. How do you feel about his play tonight? It's his first game.
I think last few games he's been really good, his best of the year. Now in defense of Taser, like he hasn't felt healthy the whole year, right? He was dealing with something right out of training camp, and he missed a bunch of time. He's good enough to come back and play, but still not 100%. So that has something to do with it for sure, and we've talked about it. Taser at 80% is still better than lots of other players in the league, so you go with it and you try to give him as much rest as you can. Now he's working through that, through his health, and you can see his game start to come around. I mean, your body has to feel good in order to play your best game, and his just hasn't. But now he's starting to feel better, and it's showing in his game.
Finish, Jesse.
Coach, I'm sure you'd like, a little bit quicker starts, but you gotta like the fact that your team can have a bad period, turn the page, and get after it.
Yeah, no question. I mean, the starts we gotta fix. But yeah, they're a resilient group. I think they're gaining confidence in the fact that like we can, lock it down defensively and get to our game offensively, and that we're getting more guys chipping in here now, and that we can still win games when we fall behind. It's learned with the new group, right? And so we've been through enough games now, 16, that we're starting to get that belief.